So let's start off where most of you probably still know me from. So as most of you know, I was traveling Australia, backpacking, had the best time of my life. Honestly, it was insane. Was doing like working travel in Australia for 2.5 years, and that is where I met my now ex-boyfriend. And he was also traveling Australia with his friends, but he also had Australian citizenship, and he kind of had like a base in Australia. So because of him, even after I went back from that big travels, I still kept going back to Australia at least like once a year. Still loved going back, still had great times, but obviously it was a bit different because I wasn't just backpacking and staying in hostels and doing all these fun things, but I was more like actually living there, staying in a house, doing lots of work. So it was all a bit different, the whole experience. So after that big trip where I met Ted, obviously I was still posting here on YouTube, I started doing an apprenticeship in Berlin, which was called Marketing Communications. And with that apprenticeship, I went to Mexico, I went to Costa Rica, and I just got around a bit because they had an office here in Mérida in Mexico. So that is where all my last videos I uploaded are from. I was traveling around with my ex-boyfriend here in Mexico. And then I went back to Berlin, I finished my apprenticeship. So this is all now the stuff that you don't know yet. I actually quite liked the apprenticeship. It was only 2.5 years long. It was during COVID, so I didn't really have to do much. Literally went over like this. Didn't really learn that much, to be honest. Like everything I learned was more focused on newspaper marketing, TV marketing, in general marketing, but everything online related was, I think we were only speaking about like online marketing maybe for like 3 months. So didn't really learn that much that I could use now these days for any like online jobs. But still had a good time, still learned quite a lot of things, and yeah, don't regret doing it whatsoever. And then after I finished that apprenticeship, at the start I was planning on staying with the company I did the apprenticeship with. But then a friend of mine had a position coming up for a virtual assistant. And for everyone who doesn't know what a virtual assistant is, you're basically the assistant of a CEO, but for online companies. So you help them out with anything they need doing business-wise. So it could be project management, email marketing, social media marketing, admin stuff, doing some bookkeeping. So the whole field is very, very broad. So she had a position for that coming up, and obviously because I studied marketing communication, I was like, well, why not give it a go? And her business was fully online, so it was a complete remote position. So I started working for her, and while I started working for her, I also went traveling again. So I went to Indonesia again, I went to Australia, I went to loads of different places all around, and just got to know what it was like working as a virtual assistant. And my experience was very up and down. There was a lot of things I learned from that job that helped me and will help me for the rest of my life. It was so valuable. Like I took away so many different things on all different levels, and I'm really grateful for the job. But there was a couple of things I wish I knew before I started that virtual assistant job. So then the whole time I was still with my boyfriend, and so I was still with Ted, and then was pretty much between Indonesia, Australia, Europe, just traveling around and doing my own thing. And I was doing that job for probably like 1.5 years, and then we decided to go back to Australia in December 2023 until February last year. So then me, Ted, and 2 other friends, I will insert some clips here because it was again a really nice time. We got a house in Fremantle, so the 4 of us were sharing it, and then a friend of mine and me, we were both working online, and the guys were doing like boat building and construction and all like the typical stuff. And was staying in Australia for 3 months, and again had a really great time. And then after the 3 months, everyone kind of went their own ways. I went to the Philippines, went traveling again with a couple of friends, and Sri Lanka, and in Europe, and Ted went home to England, and then we met up again in the summer. And at that time I also started working for other clients, so I also got more other like VA jobs. The first VA job I got was a full-time position, so I was just working full-time for her, 40 hours a week, and it was quite demanding, especially while I was traveling. So my goal for afterwards was to not work in a job anymore where I was doing like full-time hours, 40 hours a week, because to be honest, if you're traveling, and especially if you're like me and you have a lot of FOMO, it is not like you won't be able to see that many different things if you also have to work 8 hours a day. So it was like, no, fuck that, no more full-time work. And to be honest, if you're a virtual assistant, the money you can charge is good enough so that you don't have to work 40 hours a week. Like, it was okay, I either work 40 hours a week and I have really, really good income, or I work 25, 30 hours a week and I still have good income. So I was like, okay, if I have the option, why don't we go down with the hours? So I stopped my old job because of a couple other different things as well. At the end, it was just not working out between us anymore. And then I moved on to a new job. So the new jobs, I had a couple of different clients, and for all of them I was sometimes doing project-based work, and then I was still working for them like a normal employee, but only for like 10 fixed hours a week. So I got a couple different clients and I started doing virtual assistant tasks for them as well. There were so many different tasks and I learned a lot through these jobs. So much. And I was the whole time just working online while traveling, surfing in the Philippines, going on road trips in Sri Lanka, going on like sailing trips. And while I was doing all of that, I was still working remotely, which is pretty much like a dream came true. Like, my whole life I wanted to travel and be able to work, and obviously it's not always easy, but for me at the time it was the most perfect thing ever. Like, I couldn't have imagined anything better. So I highly recommend that to anyone if you can, which you can, find an online job and then do that. So the whole time I was still with Ted, we were doing an long distance open relationship because we weren't seeing each other that often, like only, let's say, every 3 months we would see each other. So pretty much just after I came back from my big Australia trip, which was like 3.5 years ago, we decided to open it up. So for like 3.5 years, we had a long distance open relationship. And it always worked out really great. It was a really nice relationship and took away so many nice things from that. So this whole time I was traveling in the Philippines and everything, I was still with him. And then I was in Indonesia again, and I met a girl called Anna, and she was also working as a virtual assistant. And while we were like working together in a cafe in Bali, I think 2 or 3 different girls came up to us and they were both like, oh my god, you work online, how do you do this? I want to be doing the same, like, can you teach me how you do it? That was the moment we kind of realized that there's so many different people that want to be working remotely online, and everyone just thinks it's a scam and it's really hard to get into, or you have to do these like sales calls or whatever. And really that is not true at all. Like, I think after my name was out there and people kind of like knew about me being a virtual assistant, I think like every month someone asked me, oh, can you help me with this project? As I just said, as I was traveling, I didn't want to be working more than 30 hours max a week. So I had to like decline all these jobs. And every time they asked me, can you recommend anyone who could do these jobs? I was always thinking, I don't really know anyone who's skilled enough to be working as a virtual assistant. So then after everyone kept coming up to me and asking me like, oh my god, you work online, how do you do this? Explain me like how it works. I decided to open up a virtual assistant academy together with Anna, so we can teach people everything that we wish we would have known when we first started out. So we teach the basics in copywriting, social media marketing, project management, anything you need to know. We teach everything about how to find clients, how much you can charge an hour, what type of a company you should set up, because I personally had an LLC and now I have an LP, so there's a couple different things of how to do this as a digital nomad. So we talk about all these different things, and then at the end, after 3 months, we then have an exam, and if everyone, all the students pass the exam, they will then be put into a job portal, and in that job portal we have yeah, various different companies who are already looking for virtual assistants. So best case scenario, people do the academy and then they have a job as a virtual assistant straight away. And right now we just started the first round, which is actually why I'm in Mexico right now. So I came here with Anna, it's our first time traveling together. This is only like our third time we've ever seen each other, but it's going really, really well. And we just started the first round of the academy last week. And we have 9 beautiful people that are joining, and I think for the job portal we already have 6 positions open. So 6 out of the 9 people already have a job pretty much secured after the academy, which is insane to think. But yeah, so that's everything that happened in like the last year. So I opened the business, it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of calls, a lot of meetings, and I'm so happy that we finally pull together this thing. And while all of this happened, I traveled to Portugal in the summer, and my plan was kinda to base myself in Portugal. So I've been, as you might know, just been like traveling non-stop for like 5 years now, and I've been living out of a suitcase for 2.5, haven't had a proper home, always just living out of this suitcase for 2.5 years. And it does get quite, I mean, don't take this wrong, I don't want to complain. Like, obviously, I love my life, this is amazing. But it does get a bit exhausting. And I was thinking about like, you know, just like having a base again, having a flat and to settle down somewhere. So the whole time the plan was to settle down in Portugal with my ex-boyfriend, so Ted. You know him from like all the different videos. So our plan was to settle down in Ericeira, which is a little like coastal town, surfer town outside of Lisbon. And we were renting a van and we drove all around Portugal and had a really nice time and just explored Portugal, and decided that maybe this could actually be a place where I could see myself based. So we were planning on doing all of that, but yeah, he's half Aussie, and the whole time he was kind of like in his head thinking, I think I need to go back to Australia, I think I need to live in Australia. And for me personally, at the minute, obviously I loved my time backpacking Australia. I enjoyed every second of it, and I will always, yeah, I will never forget the time, and I will 100% still go back to Australia. But the one thing I've been struggling with the most since coming back from backpacking is not really feeling at home anywhere. And I'm an only child, and yeah, I'm quite close with my parents, and if I would move to Australia, they wouldn't kill me, but they would be super upset, like so upset. And I've been living in Berlin, I kind of like build my bubble in Berlin and have so many nice, beautiful friends in Europe. So I was like, oh, do I really see myself moving to the Gold Coast with him? And the answer was just that at the minute I don't really see myself living in Australia, just because it is so far away. Like, that is probably the only reason why I don't want to be living in Australia. Apart from that, it would 100% be my first choice to ever move there. But right now I just don't see myself living in Australia. So we decided to break up. He moved back to Australia, so he's now living there, and I'm still trying to find my home, my place to live. So if anyone wants to open up a community somewhere or wants to move to a place somewhere, I was actually thinking about maybe moving to Barcelona and checking out if that could be something. So yeah, that's my whole little life update. Right now I am, as I said, in Mexico with Anna. We'll be here, we're on a little work trip, so we're just like working as much as we can, started the academy, and then I will be traveling South America after. So I'm going to be going to Colombia, Brazil, Peru, very fun places with a couple different friends, and I'm super excited for what's to come. And after that, I honestly don't really know. I think I'm going to go back to Berlin for the summer and then maybe look for a new place to live, maybe Barcelona, maybe I'm going to go to Austria for a ski season. So still lots and lots of traveling, and yeah, that's the whole life update now. So I'm single again. Ted and I were together for 6 years, which is crazy. First time being single again in like pretty much like 8 years, so I have to get used to that, but all happy. Just want to concentrate on the business right now. Still love traveling around, but I'm also ready to kind of like find a place where I feel at home, and then at least have like 1 or 2 bases I can like move between. But this is the whole life update. I think from now on I'm gonna show you more, like obviously let me know in the comments what you would like to see, but from now on I'm gonna show you more about my travel life in South America, what it's like being a remote worker while traveling, what it's like setting up your own business. I'm still working as a VA for clients, so right now I'm doing the business 50% of the time, and then 50% of the time I'm still working for clients, and I'm still their virtual assistant or online business manager, because I gain more knowledge, and then you kind of move up roles so you can also ask for more money, which is good. And yeah, if you have any questions about what I've been up to, let me know. And I'm really excited to go back to YouTube, because honestly, looking back at the videos I posted from when I was in Australia is the best gift I could have got myself. I love looking back at old videos, because you always forget. So if I can recommend you one thing, is take lots of photos and videos and save them somewhere, because you kind of forget about a lot of this stuff. So yeah, let me know what you want to see, and I'm excited for what's to come. Bye.